So what is up YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about NIO's stock price movement, whether the stock is a buy or not now, and also some NIO news I didn't cover over the past few days. So NIO stock over the past month, for the most part, hasn't done too well, as it's down over 34% just in this month. And this was just because there was a rotation in the market from high growth stocks to value stocks like banks, airlines, cruises, and this does happen pretty often in the market, which is why you should stay diversified. But yeah, in this month, NIO did go to as low as $30 per share, and that is where I actually bought the stock, around $32 and $38. But the price drops that did happen in February really didn't have to do with any fundamental reason in NIO. It was mostly just the high valuations for these high growth stocks, and they just kind of had to come down to earth, and that is why they crashed. And personally, I do think 30 to 35 or even high 30s is good value for NIO, because that is around a $50 billion market cap, which I think is kind of fair for NIO. It is still a rich valued stock, but with its growth potential, I do think it is worth buying at those levels. And that means the price to sales for NIO based on 2021 revenues would be about 8 to 12 if the share price was $30 to $40 ranges. Now, I'm not saying that's cheap, but I think that's a lot better than the previous price to sales of 20 when the share price was around $60. And I do think a price to sales of 8 to 12 is kind of reasonable for NIO, and especially if you look at their 2023 numbers, then I think you'll be able to justify the valuation for yourselves. And today, NIO is up around 17%, and it rebounded all the way from $32 to $41 within a few days. And again, this is just like a small rotation. Money's going from value stocks to high growth stocks again, which is why almost every high growth stock is up, including almost all the EV stocks. And another reason could be the stimulus that recently passed. And this is why if you like a company a lot, you should probably buy the dips. Like for example, if you're willing to buy NIO at the $50 range, then you should definitely average down if NIO does hit $32, especially if you did research behind why you like the stock. And so am I buying NIO stock? No, I don't think I will, because I already bought them at the low 30s, and I feel like right now it is fairly valued. I think we might see some few more dips. I don't think we'll see like a continuous green days, especially like this for NIO. I think maybe people will start taking some profits that they got today and put it again into value stocks. I think these next few days will be extremely volatile for all stocks, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a red day tomorrow, because people will again take their profits from the stocks that they made today and they'll start moving it somewhere else. And like that's just how the market works. Usually after a huge red day we see a huge green day, and after a huge green day we see a huge red day. So but one good thing about NIO stock is institutions have been buying NIO stock extremely heavily during this dip, like Tencent, BlackRock, Vanguard, and more. So I think NIO is a buy if you could get it at the $30 levels, because though I like the company long term, I still do think the valuation is a bit rich for the company, but I think it will hover around the $40 ranges in 2021, and I think that will be very good for the stock long term, because if the valuation is overstretched, then expectations will be very high like we recently saw, and any miss in the revenue expectations or earning expectations will lead to huge crashes in the stock. And if the stock does reach $100 and the revenue isn't at like $8 to $10 billion, then it will be at bullish valuations. And I see people putting out $100 price target predictions for NIO, and I do think that'll happen over the long term, so maybe over the next 2 to 3 years. But this year it's very unlikely to happen, because that would put NIO's market cap at around like $140 billion. So analysts expect NIO to do a high of $5.5 billion, which means they think the maximum revenue they could do, or the highest potential revenue they could do in 2021, is $5.5 billion. And a market cap of $140 billion would mean a price to sales of close to 30. But in my opinion, I think NIO will trade around the $40 levels in 2021 and may hit a high of $60, but again, you never know, it could hit $100. But don't buy into the stock expecting it to be $100 in 2021. This is a long-term hold, so maybe 3 years I could see it becoming $150. But again, NIO is still kind of a risky speculative investment, because at the end of the day, you can't justify its valuation based on the numbers you're doing today, and that's the same for Tesla. But these could be great long-term holds, but it's always good to diversify, because these high growth stocks trading at huge premiums are the ones that tend to correct very hard in crashes. But this was a really good day for NIO, but don't expect it to hold up tomorrow, and personally I'm only going to buy NIO stock if I do get it at the $30 levels. So now let's talk about some NIO news. So the first news is NIO actually made a joint venture with JAC Motors, where NIO owns 49% of this company and JAC Motors owns 51%. So if you guys didn't know, JAC Motors and NIO have a partnership where they build their cars together. So NIO doesn't actually manufacture their own cars, but with the help of JAC Motors, they make their cars. cars. So it's basically like JC's facilities, buildings, and more, and then NIO's management comes in and makes sure the production is going properly. So no one knows the exact reason of why they formed this venture, but there are a few speculations. One is that they may produce a mass market car together, but that may happen in 2023 or 2024. I don't expect it to happen anytime soon. Other speculations are just that JC and NIO want to strengthen cooperation in advanced manufacturing and service management. And JC Motors is actually a subsidiary of Volkswagen, meaning Volkswagen actually owns JC Motors. So another speculation is that these three companies, so NIO, Volkswagen, and JC Motors, plan to work together maybe sometime in the future. But nonetheless, this is all speculation. Short term, this probably won't mean anything for the company, and long term, this could mean a lot for the company or it could mean nothing, as NIO does have other ventures, but it really didn't lead to anything. The second big news is it does seem like NIO and Sinopec's partnership did close, and we will see NIO's battery swap stations in Sinopec's gas station. Report does say that NIO's second generation battery swap stations will go live at Sinopec's gas stations on April 15th. This is great for both companies as NIO is improving its EV infrastructure and Sinopec is also transitioning into EVs. And what I mean by this is as more cars become electric, Sinopec won't just be losing money, but they will have EV infrastructure to take advantage of the electrification that's going on. Another big news is that NIO is eyeing a Hong Kong listing, and this is to raise more money for the company, but this also means dilution for shareholders. So in the short term, if this does happen, it will be bad for the stock as there is dilution going on, but in the long term, this means a lot more capital for NIO to fuel more growth. So all this news was very good for NIO as it will lead to a lot of growth in the future, and I'm still very bullish on this company over the long term. However, NIO is still trading at a premium valuation, so don't be surprised if there are more volatility and dips. And finally, what I want to say is valuations are extremely important, and again, the stock market did show that to us. So for NIO in particular, do run the numbers over the next 3 years and understand whether NIO can truly justify its valuation or not, and based on that, you could decide whether to buy the stock, sell the stock, or hold the stock. But right now, personally, I'm just holding. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, please do leave a like and subscribe. Also comment down below what videos you would like to see, and thank you for watching.